line is cat. Shout out to Stunning Growth Music and most importantly Mars fam. Shout out to y'all for tapping in. This video as the Diplomats was fun, flashy, and a disappointment. What stunted their growth? Now, me personally, if I'm gonna have to choose, I'm gonna have to choose the Locks or over Dipset. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to choose the Locks over Dipset, and it's not even on no like favorite. It's just I rock with Jadakiss heavy, so it's like it's an automatic for me. Let me know who y'all would choose, the Locks or Dipset. But without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the video.
Seeing life is temptation. Papa was a rolling stone, I'm sort of like the temptation.
Not saying Dipset is trash or anything though, because I like Cameron music too.
Shoot do bands too. Ooh, bop, bop, a loop, bamboo, move. I know ways to make the coat shine in no time. Ask why I wasn't with the rock on Showtime. Christian, atheist, you pray to Allah.
Classic freestyle.
Okay, just pray I don't snipe you. Cause with the SK, doggy, I'm okay.
Cameron, Jim Jones, Joel Santana, and Freaky Zeke, the Diplomats, also known
What's
as
the crazy thing is I did met Joel Santana before when I was younger though. I was like gay high, dumb short.
Dipset, formed in 1997. One of hip-hop's most well-known...
and he was just like that. He had like a big ass black tee on with a bandana, something like that.
And well-respected groups of all time. If there were any rap group that capitalized early in their careers and made somewhat of the most of their influence, it was Dipset. Together, they're cultural icons that were in control of shaping the direction of hip-hop at one point in the early 2000s. Their mixtapes and full-length projects, highlighted by the series Diplomatic Community, led to their ascendance and received high praise at the peak of their run, but became a quick climax that in just a few years was realized it would be the peak of where together they could take their unique sound. Separately, they all had success, and also a chance at being bigger than they eventually became. They made magic as a collective though, and are still relatively relevant today, but it always feels when their name is brought up, they didn't quite hit the mark. The most recent showing of this is one of hip-hop's brightest shining moments in recent history that took place this year and had the eyes of every hip-hop fan glued to the screen, expecting a dominating Dipset performance with their countless hit singles and star power alone. Of course, I'm referring to the versus battle with another legendary and underrated rap group, the Locks. It almost feels like that event helped write this story, because it was the perfect example of what Dipset has become over the years.
I feel like for Dipset, the chemistry just wasn't there, because I don't even know if they still even really cool with each other like that. Now the Locks is tight, they still got that chemistry, so the performance just hit different.
A leader who cares more about perception than getting the job done correctly, swagger overload when the other side came ready for war, pride and care for the actual art of rap, punctual and prepared, while the Diplomats were, well, the Diplomats. The Locks with timeless camaraderie, rooted in care for each other through built relationships outside of music and continued cultivation of their skills over time. Both groups taking lessons they've learned throughout their respective group careers. The problem that led to Dipset actually losing that versus by all accounts was actually just that. Everything not effectively coming together one last time to at least seal the deal on a great career, mind you. Just one that has been stunted at crucial points, and here are three of the biggest reasons I think this happened. Legends in the game, but did they underdeliver in the grand scheme? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. The members of the Diplomats are all from Harlem, New York, with their energetic hype man and group executive Freaky Zeke having ties to the Bronx. The group was first formed in '97 by Cameron and Jim Jones, childhood friends, joined in '99 by Joel Santana, completing the main ingredients to the set. Although the group would have other artists like Hell Rell, J.R. Ryder, and 40 Cal as extensions. In 2001, led by Cameron, they signed to his Diplomat Records label and began to put the world up on their swag and lingo from one of the most famous places in the world. They began working on their debut album and first installment, Diplomatic Community, released a year after Cameron's third solo album and considered classic Come Home With Me. The album put the group in hip-hop's driver's seat for maybe one of the shortest group runs in history. Stunt number 1, the point guard and leader. Every demise happens when the head of the snake, or in this case, the bird, is removed for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, I always wanted to know what was Cameron's obsession with wearing pink. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but I just want to know, like, does it represent something? Does it mean something?
Cameron was the obvious holder of this position, seeing as at that point he had the most rap success as a solo artist and the group being signed to his actual label, giving him 100% creative control and the power to do as he saw fit with the direction of the group. And Cam was a great choice outside of everything mentioned earlier. He fit the description of a rapper from Harlem in every way. His skills were undeniable, and he had the personality it took on his own to be considered the leader of a legendary rap group. The notorious B.I.G. even had plans of signing Cameron at the beginning of his career, right before B.I.G. passed away. Cam went on to release 6 albums from '98 to 2009 and 7 over his career, with at least 2 classics within that span. He was also, to me, the best of the group, rap-wise, with his ability to paint clear pictures of a boss that did whatever he wanted.
One of my favorite songs by Cameron though is I think it's called Losing Weight.
Making a sweat, and brought a humorous side to the so-called gangsta rapper that didn't come off as corny or ever forced. There's many positives to having Cameron point guard the team as also the veteran scoring leader, but over time, his leadership skills may have been the biggest reason the team turned the ball over far too many times to actually win the game. The first instance of this came with his handling of the tidal wave that was the Rockefeller breakup that changed the trajectory of hip-hop in itself with all the artists it affected. Dame Dash, a hometown friend of Cameron, teamed up with Brooklyn legend Jay-Z to form Rockefeller Records. It goes without saying the impact that label had on the entire East Coast music scene in some way in the 2000s. Dame and Jay-Z decided to part ways around 2005, and every artist affiliated with the label had to choose a side between the two. Cameron, who Dame had made vice president of Rockefeller Records before that, chose his friend Dash and began to throw shots at Jay-Z first on songs.
Imagine if he chose Jay-Z. I'm not saying he should have, but imagine like he would have chose Jay-Z, where his career would have been or what he would have been doing. But he's still doing a lot of other things other than music. I definitely know that because he still got the cars to show for it. He still got the crib to show for it. But as far as like Dipset chemistry, it don't seem like it's there to me. It don't seem like they even really care to be around each other. It don't seem like it's hate, but it seems like they just comfortable with staying to themselves and being separate. That's just how I see it though.
Like You Gotta Love It and Swagger Jacker, accusing Jay of stealing Big's rhymes. Subliminals and entire shots were thrown from both sides and led to a weird position for Juelz to be in, seeing as he chose to stay on Def Jam, to whom Jay-Z became the president. The Diplomats as a group signed to Koch Records and released Diplomatic Community 2 that had its moments. To make matters worse, Cameron and 50 Cent began beefing shortly after the
Yep.
Jay-Z beef in 2007, meaning the group was now taking shots from all angles. Cam and Jim Jones also began to beef over Cam's moves and also his abrupt hiatus from the music game in the height of the group being embroiled in beef. Jim showed up to perform with 50 Cent during Cam's hiatus, culminating in Cam's first big blow as an artist. It led to the group falling apart and growing resentment for their leader that left them on the field for the clock to run out. Stunt number 2, a superstar not stepping up. The second reason Dipset may be seen as disappointing was during Cam's hiatus from the rap game. With him gone, you would have expected either Jim Jones or Jewels to step up and carry the torch as the stars they were seen as, but neither had what it took to walk in those shoes in hindsight. Jim, who began as Cam's hype man, wasn't a good enough rapper technically to be what Cam was in that position, as he always seemed perfectly fit in the capo's role or shooting guard per se. Without their point guard leader, the game got out of control. Jim Jones did go on to create a great lane for himself over time nonetheless, with a few hits under his belt, and is the only one that remained working since the group's prime all the way to today. He had his moments, and some even say he may be the best of the group, to which I disagree. One thing was clear, he was no Cameron, and every group
I think
needs a Cameron.
I think Cameron is the best of the group, to be honest.
Joel Santana, who was supposed to have been the second coming of Cam in a more marketable, youthful way, was most affected by the Rockefeller breakup and having to choose sides right when the light was supposed to have shined on him. His long-awaited album finally released a year of the breakup and had a few standouts, leading to the belief Santana was a viable option when Cam left. He himself would have beef with Cameron over Cam's guidance of the ship and jumping overboard while they still had steam. Cam would eventually let Jewels out of his deal with Diplomat Records, making him free to do as he pleased. Jewels proceeded to drop every ball as a free artist, allegedly getting hooked on drugs in the process and sitting on his hands, not releasing another studio album since his last of 2 in 2005. Stunt number 3, Finals Embarrassment.
All right. Well, you got a problem with me, you know my slogan, nigga. Go get your gun. Oh, shit.
Throughout it all, Dipset did get back together and tried to rekindle a chemistry that was natural but also greatly damaged personally to a point I don't think even time could fix. It showed a final time during the verses with the Lox in 2021. Many saw this before as a quick sideshow hustle for all involved, but it turned out to be one of hip-hop's biggest moments maybe ever. It's like Cam re-signed as the point guard of the team, Jim fell back to his Klay Thompson role, and Jewels, the most talented and marketable, couldn't stay healthy enough to quite become a star, played the wing. Cam proceeded to show up late, get comfortable in his beach chair, which all fumbled the ball again out the gate for his team. He then lets Jim and Jewels do all the work at first, refusing to shoot as it has to be all about him. They all rapped over their words.
Why these niggas keep rhyming over the words?
Their DJ was poorly chosen. They had little to no chemistry with one another, which is to be expected. And when the light was the brightest, Cam was actually booed for attempting a freestyle.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Okay, y'all got it, bro. You got it, go.
Ain't stick
Jim
to the
Jones
script.
fell or leaped off stage, and Jewels looked and felt off the entire night. All while the Lox put on a flawless performance with everything Dipset lacked and more. The final score, 130-56, as the Lox rejuvenated their career with streaming and sales increasing, along with
Queen's Flip was
keys to
it?
the city and a full championship parade across the industry. As far as Dipset, well, I haven't heard from either much since. They thought this would be an insignificant stroll through memory lane, turned out to be the lid sealer to a great, fun, but a bit underwhelming career as a group. All in all, it's hard to cast blame on any one member for the group falling short, and keep in mind, falling short is subjective. If nothing, they became legends in the game and made a way for their families forever. At their height, they were the taste and style of the game, but just couldn't quite stay together to see the future everyone else saw them becoming. And for these reasons, their growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth.
Man, shout out to Stunted Growth. Shout out to the Lock, shout out to Queen's Flip, shout out to Dipset, shout out to Versus. I'm still gonna have to choose the Locks over Dipset. As you can see, the chemistry is there. Styles P, Jadakiss, all of them, you know, they definitely do their thing. Y'all get in the comment section down below. Let me know who y'all choosing. The Locks or Dipset. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Love is love. And I'm gonna catch you in the next video. The videos I got for tomorrow is crazy. I got Remy Ma, Foxy Brown. I got a lot coming for tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all tap in tomorrow. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.